Going
Mm-hmm.
live. There we go. Says we're live.
Going live, going live, going live.
Says we're live.
Mm-hmm. Just now.
Just now. It's gotta catch itself up here.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. I see us. I see us. We're in the live stream.
I see a... Okay, there we go. I had a
Yeah.
commercial.
Oh. We got it. We got it. It's here. Oh,
Love those
hello.
commercials.
Oh, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Move this over here. Move this over here. Oh, that's not what I want to do because that kills your camera.
Don't kill my camera.
I don't want to do that. No, no, no. Da, da, da. There we go. Ba, 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 ba. There. There we go. Make everything where it needs to be.
Everything in its place. And a place for everything.
So not another 14-hour day today?
No, it ended up being just a 10-hour day. So that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Nah, wasn't too bad.
I guess you are deeply into your busy season.
No, busy season is November through January.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The spring and early summer is supposed to be the easy season, from what my coworkers say.
Uh-huh.
But this year was a little odd. I think it's because of the prices. Prices of our products are going down, so therefore people are like, yeah, I can shell out the extra money.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll do it.
Have someone install it professionally.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep. And so they can use our services more. So I don't mind that. I like having a job and work and hours and money.
Please give me work to do so that I can continue to do this. Be awesome.
Mm-hmm. And my paycheck this week, it included the 70-odd hour week I had on 4th of July week, and it's a good check.
You were like, I like this check.
Like, straight to BlizzCon fund.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to help.
Yeah, and you know, every year it seems that they've been kind of letting us know what some of the exclusive items for BlizzCon are, like a little bit earlier. So now you're just going to be like, I'm saving more stuff so I can buy more stuff.
Well, they have that giant, Bastion, the cute but deadly Bastion, the giant one.
Okay. I haven't seen
55. Well, it's like the small one. I can find a link to it. It's... Oh, hold on, let me see if I can find it. It's a convention only. So it'll probably be at BlizzCon, but it's the same as the smaller cute but deadly. Let's see here. Blizzard SDCC 2017. Where are you?
I thought they didn't have any exclusive things for that you couldn't like buy on the store. Hi,
Well, some of them are convention only ones.
Okay.
Some of the stuff they did put on here, but the Bastion figure did not make it. Where are you? It's a giant... Let me find a picture of it. Yeah. Okay, I'll put it in the chat room. It's I forgot how big it is, but it also lights up. The little blue eye strip lights up.
What?
Yeah. And so I'm like, well, there goes $55.
$55? Holy crap.
$55 for that. I may not end up buying it. We will see when November comes, but
yeah.
that's expensive.
That's pricey. I got to say that's pricey.
Cute but deadly to my wallet. Is exactly what it is.
That's true.
I have the small one. I've got him up here, up on my thing. He's up there.
Mm-hmm.
But yep.
That's too funny. Whoa, where'd your camera go?
Oh, hold on. Let me try and fix it.
What happened? Broken camera.
And plug it back in.
Broken dreams.
Hopefully it won't mess up again.
Where'd it go? It's just like right now the overlay has your gnome eye. There we go. Now we see you.
All right. Sorry about that.
Where'd you go? Yeah, camera just like bloop. Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con means there's a lot of stuff going to be coming out this weekend. Should be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of news.
A lot of news, a lot of cool stuff. I heard about the teaser for Avengers Infinity War that was at D23 last week.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about just lots of stuff.
There's going to be a lot of stuff. Usually there's
lots
some big
of
surprises.
Yes. And I'm trying. I heard that Ruffalo he spoiled something about Infinity War, and so I'm doing my best to stay away from any of those articles.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to know. I want to find out next summer when I watch it.
Right. Yeah, I don't read any of that stuff either. Like people who decide they want to spoil stuff about Game of Thrones, I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I want it to be surprised. You know, don't talk about it. Don't link articles. Just don't. Just don't. I don't want to know. Yeah,
if you want to link an article, make sure the spoilers aren't in the title. Like, that could be a thing like, hey, you could do... Draven.
Everybody dies.
Don't do that. Everybody dies. And then Tom Holland Spider-Man gets the Infinity Gauntlet because he outwits Thanos, and then he uses the time gem to backwards trip everybody back into existence.
Oh, jeez.
Including Quicksilver. He's alive!
Surprise!
What, you didn't see that coming?
Surprise!
Mm-hmm. It's going to be good, though. One of these days, I'd like to go to Comic-Con. Maybe
I don't think
day.
I could handle that size of a mob scene. You know, it just seems like it's way over the top in terms of how many people are there.
Kind of like Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Dragon Con was huge.
Yeah, I've heard it's just kind of like overwhelmingly huge. But, yeah, I'm happy to stay home and read all the news of everything that's coming out and not have to wait in a line for 4 days just to see one panel. You know, some people are that insane. Like, I want to see this panel, so I will wait in line for it for that long. It's like, so not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I would probably spend my time at the merch desk first.
That's true.
Like, I gotta get the exclusives. Okay, I got them.
It's the only reason why you'd be there is just I gotta wait in line to buy stuff, to get stuff, and then
I paid all this. I bought a plane ticket. And I got a hotel, and I flew out here so I could pay more money to buy stuff.
It's the exclusive privilege of buying things.
It's the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive buying privilege. The exclusive buying exclusive privilege or something.
Oh, that's funny.
Something like that.
PAX South crowds are, at least at PAX South, PAX South is like small compared to...
Yeah, it's pretty small.
The crowds are... I mean, it was busy on like Saturday, but it wasn't like, you know, wall-to-wall people everywhere you went. You know, that's what San Diego Comic-Con is. It's just wall-to-wall people because there's just so many people in such a small amount of space. But
there'd be too many things and too many things to do and too many people to meet that I would probably just like, because every like I'm looking on all my Twitter and like, hey, this cool person is going to be there. They're at this booth, and this other person at this booth, and they're at this booth. Like, I would spend all day just looking for the booths. Like when I went to Dragon Con, I was looking around and I finally found Jim Butcher and got his autograph on a book because he does the Dresden Files.
Yep.
And I was like, I have to do this. I was like, I don't care what else is going on today. I have to beat him.
Yeah,
and
but
you
hit your
get his
priority.
autograph.
You hit the, you know.
Yeah.
But if it's like every favorite franchise of every favorite show you have is at the same thing. Where do you even start? You know, and they're probably overlapping some, like signings and things like that. It's like, well, where do you go first? Who do you go see? Like, nah.
Yeah, I had to split off and do the what is it? And do the Futurama panel from everyone, because everybody else was like, well, I want to go see this, I want to go see that. Well, I'm doing the Futurama panel. I will see you guys in like 2 hours, because I had to go see it. I had to go see them live,
Yeah. No.
And then I had to do the Star Trek Next Generation panel. But it was those two panels, and then I think that was it. Aside from the Jim Butcher thing, the rest was me just walking around, just looking at stuff.
You wonder why the hot part of the year is the big con season. Well, mainly because travel plans get butchered for the winter. Like, if there's a storm someplace, the travel can get completely destroyed. At least that's my theory. And plus, it's a lot more pleasant to go to a con where you don't have to carry heavy jackets around and travel in snow and muck. Ugh.
Yeah.
I've been to cons in cold, and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, in the summertime is when people aren't in school.
Yeah.
So or aren't at college usually, and so summer is the travel season for that reason.
Vacations, times when people take vacations. Yeah, it's big crowds of hot, stinky people. Is true.
Yes, deodorant, please, please deodorant.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter as much like BlizzCon is in November, but even in November, I don't think we've had any issues with any travel plans of like big, huge storm stopping everybody to get there,
Yeah, not quite. It hadn't gotten that cold yet.
No.
Usually by November. A little bit maybe, but nothing like that.
One would hope.
One would hope. Yeah. We'll see how you Minnesotans can do it.
Oh, Lordy.
Once we get there.
Hang on just a second. Let me trigger up my soundboard here. And
hey, Solo Mio, I'm glad the power came back on just in time.
First stop, Triple T chat room. That's awesome. Are you guys getting bad storms out there? All right, let's do a ready check.
Yeah, deodorant does have its limits.
And thank you, Bim. Forgot to tweet the deets. I forgot to do it.
Bim's on top of it tonight. Oh man, oh man.
Kaboom.
Yeah, you're right, Barbara. I would probably take a little bit of Minnesota weather right now too.
Right now, Minnesota weather is 85 degrees and humid. High today of 89 and humid, and that is probably downright balmy for some of you folks.
That's downright pleasant compared to what we had earlier.
Compared to what you're dealing with in the South, I know. And on the East Coast, my parents were like, "It's so hot. Oh, so hot."
Yeah, I was trying to see what the high today was. It was just hot.
Yeah, and then
the heat index was between 105 and 110.
Ooh, gross.
Well, it's 89 now. Feels like 101 at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, jeez. Not fun. Not fun at all.
Mm-mm.
All right, let's do some sound checking. Let's do this one.
One shot, one kill.
Got it.
Got it. That one works.
Got it.
It works. This is awesome. Well, that works. And so if that works, then chat room, are you guys ready for a show?
Are you ready?
I'm so sorry about that, Barbara. That sucks.
Oh, yeah.
I have been dealing with dehydration for the past, this is the third day, and it is not fun.
Mm-mm.
It is not fun at all.
Yeah.
Just trying to get the balance in there. I've just been drinking water, and it's not working. So, I was drinking probably the wrong kind of water, so now I'm just drinking plain water. But
what kind of water is the wrong kind of water?
LaCroix.
Oh, carbonated water, yeah.
Water. And it's like my muscles were all achy, and I was just like not feeling like I felt like flu-like, and then even now I'm still not right. I'm still not 100%. I've been trying to drink water as we're talking here, but it's like ugh. So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite gifts. I love dropping that like I dropped it on you and Pat.
That one was
the other day.
Funny. That made me giggle. The square root of -1 is Draven Dresden. Draven just gotta be different. Marconin, are you ready for a show?
Well, I hope so.
You hope so?
At this point, I hope I'm ready because it's about to happen.
It's gonna happen whether you like it or not. So
yeah, you better get with the program, Mister.
Mister, let's go and get with the program, and we'll just let's just do a show now, won't we?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Let's go with the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go ahead and do it. Today is the 20th. It's 2:38. Yes.
Isn't it the anniversary of the moonwalking? July 20th, 1969? Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, moonwalking people. All right.
Yep.
Let's do this thing. And we're going in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 238 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, July 20th of 2017. It's 8:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. My name is Jules, and we are back with a live show recording on Twitch. And I have my friendly neighborhood co-host who is sweating it out in his crazy southern lifestyle. It's Marconin.
Woo, boy, I do declare, Jules, it is so dang hot down here. So hot. My goodness.
How hot is it?
It's hot enough to boil a carton of eggs when you're driving from Walmart back home. You're gonna start with raw eggs. You're gonna come home hard boiled. Wow. Easiest way to cook some eggs: leave them in the window of a car in the South in the summer.
In the summer.
Easiest way.
It's true.
Easiest way.
You could try baking some cookies in your window and see how that does to you.
Sure, boy, I could sure use some of that right now. That sounds good. Could use a couple cookies, or like Bim said in the chat room, a nice tall glass of sweet tea.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. That'd be good.
It sounds amazing to me too. And it's also amazing to be back with the two of us again for this episode of Tauren Think Tank. If you guys haven't listened to episode 237, it was a bit of a different show for us. But I just want to give another thank you to our guest Turarts, who came on the show last week, and also a huge thank you to Marconin for stepping aside for the show last week to allow it to be a one-on-one interview between Turarts and me.
Absolutely. It was the better move to do. So yeah. I was happy to step aside and let you two talk it through. And I listened to the episode too, and it's a little different. It can be hard to listen to with the subject matter, but it's a discussion worth having.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's a tough one, and my goodness, I want to give Turarts the biggest hugs in the world that I can muster, and then some. Not only for everything, but also for her wanting to come out and talk, online publicly about it, because that takes some major stones that I don't have. So yeah. She's way up there in my book. So awesome to her, and that takes a huge amount of courage. I don't think I could do that. Yeah. So.
And I want to thank our audience, too, for the feedback that you gave us for that episode, thanking us for doing it, thanking Turarts for her bravery and courage. And we were proud to bring an episode to you to talk about topics like that, even though it's not the most enjoyable thing to listen to. I had someone send me a message and say, "I didn't listen to the trigger warning, Jules. I'm at work." And I was like, "Oh no!" And she said, "Yeah, there's tears all over, but thank you for doing this." So, with that being said, we are back for another episode of our normal Triple T fare, and we're happy to be doing it. So let's start off by talking about what has been happening with the two of us for the last couple weeks, since we haven't been updating you guys on our lives. Marconin is sitting in a pretty new orange and black chair on the stream tonight.
I am.
Is that orange and black or is orange and blue?
Orange and black.
Okay, it is black. Yeah.
Yeah. I two of my favorite colors.
Yes.
And I just my one chair, my last one broke. It acted like if you tried to, you know how at like the circus or something or on the Tonight Show, this guy will like have a bunch of poles and then he'll spin like dinner plates on it
yes.
and try to keep it balanced. That's what I was doing the last couple of weeks. I was trying to keep, but it was instead of a plate, it was the chair, and my butt was about to fall off. In fact, in the last show, I was kind of like grappling like almost like a squatting stance to make sure that I was balanced. I didn't fall over. Her last show,
it's kind of like a stability ball stance. So it was trying to hold yourself up.
Pretty much, yeah. So that was a nice exercise for a couple hours last time. But I decided to go ahead and get one of these so-called racing gaming chairs. So I got one of the cheaper ones, which is okay by me because it's better than what I had, right. And it's orange, so I can't go wrong with that. I'm wearing an orange and black Overwatch League shirt tonight. Got the orange and black chair, and Halloween's only a few months away, so that's another reason to talk about orange and black. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's better than my last one, so I'm enjoying it. So
good.
Yeah.
And what else has been happening with you? What's the news in the hood?
Well, let's see. My priest hit 100. I'm going in the alt frenzy now that it's easier for alts to get up there. So my priest hit 100. Mm-hmm. So now I have another level, or a 110. Excuse me, 110. Where am I? Am I back in Warlords?
I think you are.
110. Please, no. I was making too much gold back then. Maybe I should go back. Take me back.
Please.
Need more gold for mounts. But yeah, my priest hit 110. So that's another 110 that I have no idea how to play. I got a basic rotation and I got her to 110. I'm like, okay, now what? I don't know how to priest. I don't know how to shadow priest.
You were shadow priesting, I'm guessing.
Yeah, shadow priesting. So now I'm working on my hunter and my death knight. Just slowly getting those up. Like if there's an invasion going, I'll do that because that's a ton of experience. Mm-hmm. I got almost 2 levels on my death knight just in the last one. So, or the one that's going on like right now. So it's pretty good. If you guys need to do alts, take them through the invasions and just do that and then switch to another alt, do it and just do that. Just hop around. But yeah, I did that. Work's going all right, except when I have to be in an attic for an hour when it's about 120 degrees up there or more. Ooh. So that's fun.
I hope you're
came downstairs.
Enough water.
Yeah, I drank about 2 liters at that job today. Wow. So that was, you have to. I mean, you have to know your limits. We always have to be aware of heat stroke and just all that stuff. So we always have to make sure that the other person that we're working with is okay and all that stuff. But other than that, other than being up there for a while and being really hot, it was a good job, today. So things are going pretty well overall still with that. Something that's it sounds kind of weird. I tried doing this week. I decided to fast for 2 days. I didn't eat for 2 days.
Whoa.
Yeah. So from Monday night to Wednesday night, I didn't eat anything. I drank tons of water. Still went to work. I even went to the gym. And other than a little bit of hunger, it was just a little bit. I felt fine.
Wow.
And I still feel fine. Like it didn't really affect me that much. I thought I'd try it. It's not one of those things where I'm going to completely stop eating altogether. But for 2 days I did just to see if I could.
Okay.
And I mean, I've got a lot of fuel to burn. So it worked. It was just, it's not something I'm going to, keep doing or, become anorexic or anything like that because people fast all the time, for personal reasons, religious reasons, other reasons, for whatever. But I was kind of looking around like, you know what, I'm going to try this because I don't eat a lot of food anyway. During the day, I don't really eat that much. Mm-hmm. But I was like, well, I'm not hungry. And I didn't, no caffeine, no sugar, none of that for 2 days.
Wow. I'm surprised you didn't go through some kind of withdrawal or something like that. That doesn't sound healthy.
Well, I mean, it's not that it's not healthy. I mean, if you flat out don't do it for long enough, you're going to die. But, I made sure to listen to my body and, I got hungry on Wednesday night. So I ate. but I wasn't really hungry for those 2 days.
Okay.
So, I know it's weird. I know you're giving me that look.
I'm surprised because that doesn't, I don't know if I could do that. And I don't know if it's good that you did that.
Well, I mean, it's not horrible. I mean, people fast all the time. People just go without eating for a day. Our ancestors didn't eat every day, 3 times a day. Sometimes they'd go several days without eating, and the body is prepared. It's got backup plans, but that's why I made sure to do it. I paid attention to what my body was saying. I made sure to stay hydrated because that's one thing.
Right.
And I wasn't really that hungry. Like I said, I don't eat much anyway.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. And like Draven Dresden's in the chat room, sometimes he forgets to eat. That's why he's gone days without eating. He just forgot. And it made me kind of think introspectively about, am I really hungry? Is my body really saying I need to eat right now? No, it's not. Why do I have to keep it on this schedule? Do I have to? Not necessarily. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, I'm not a health professional, but I did listen to a lot of stuff and read a lot of stuff beforehand. And it was something I thought I'd try. Okay. I went vegetarian for 2 weeks back in college just to see if I could.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, that was cool. Okay, I'll go back to my burgers now. So, yeah, it's kind of weird, and I haven't really told anybody else except for one guy at work. So now I've told a couple hundred or couple thousand people. So there you go.
A couple thousand.
Just a couple
know.
of friends. Just my friends know. But
okay.
It wasn't that big of a deal, and it didn't bother me any. So well, I did that, so that's kind of cool. Just something to see if I could do it.
See if you could. Okay. Well,
and I actually feel better than when I started, even though I ate today. I ate breakfast. And then I had dinner right before this because the job today was really long and I didn't have a chance to eat. Mm-hmm. I feel better than I did on Sunday when I was still eating. So, just a little bit of a break. I have enough fuel to burn should I find myself in the desert. So why not burn off a little bit of this? So that is just something I thought I'd try.
Okay. Well,
and if you want to tell me like, oh, you don't, your brain's gonna starve. It's like it's just 2 days. It's okay.
No.
I'm eating.
All I'm gonna say is, if you do it again, maybe check with your doctor to see what they say about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that.
Yeah. Well, that's why I made sure to pay attention to what my body was saying. And made sure I stayed hydrated, and other than one headache that I had, and I took some ibuprofen, it was better. Mm-hmm. So I guess I did eat some ibuprofen.
I ate ibuprofen. That doesn't count.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like, just thought I'd try it. Mm-hmm. And it worked. So, right, I'm still here. So, I'm not going to go like a month without eating or anything.
Good. Please don't.
No, I wouldn't. But yeah, that's something random that I did since the last show.
So,
what about you?
So, so I've been changing it up a little bit, but not to that level. But last week it was my birthday. Wednesday was my birthday, and after I finished all the moving and we did Nerdtacular and all that kind of thing, I said, okay. Now that I've dealt with all of the issues of moving and finding a place to live and getting all of the finances of that kind of settled out, my next kind of personal goal is to start working on my fitness and my weight and my health. And so I got familiar with the area that I was living in now and found that there was a gym not very far away from my house, like 5 minutes away from my house. And so
nice.
Yeah. So I went to the gym. I toured the gym. I set up an appointment and wound up signing up for a membership, as part of the whole plan. And I'm like, okay, great. Then now I have a gym membership. I can be working out more regularly. And part of this gym membership, they offer you this free personal training session to meet with a trainer and talk about your goals and teach you how to use the equipment and just do all that kind of thing. And of course, that they're gonna pitch you with personal training stuff. And, okay, I went into that knowing that was going to be the case, but I'm not real experienced with like the weight equipment and how to use them. And so I wanted to learn proper form and what kind of routine I should do. And and maybe some food planning, that kind of thing. So or meal planning. And so I set up this appointment with this trainer. Now this guy who I had this appointment with was the guy that signed me up for my membership, and he is a bodybuilder in his 50s. I would say about his 50 years old or so. So really, really, really muscular, super muscular, apparently competitive bodybuilder. And so he kind of, during the whole giving me the membership spiel, he tells me all of these stories of his, the success stories that he's had with certain people, and how he'll tell me about his food plan and how it will make a big difference, and we'll go through all the equipment, blah, blah, blah. Well, this personal trainer appointment was a complete and utter disappointment.
Really?
It was awful, because I sat down and he tells me right off the bat, he's going to tell me about his food plan. And he spends, I'm not kidding, about 15 minutes or so explaining how he does all of his personal training, and starts telling me how I have to eat 6 meals a day.
Oh, yeah, the 6 small meals.
Yeah, the 6 meals a day. So he starts to label them out. He starts to so what time do you get up in the morning? I said, I usually, he's like, okay, you're going to start around 7 o'clock in the morning. This is what you're going to have to, you're going to have this meal. Then you're going to eat again at 10. Then you're going to eat again at 1. Then you're going to eat at 4. And I'm looking at this going, how am I supposed to manage this on my wacko schedule? How does anybody manage that? So I'm getting a little skeptical. He pulls out the meal plan. And Marconin, I am not kidding you, this meal plan had a total of maybe 15 foods that were permissible. 15.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that's all you would eat. And he is he shows me, he pulls out the meals that he has brought to work with him, and he's got 4 containers of the same exact thing. It's plain chicken breast, rice, broccoli, and an egg.
Mm-hmm.
4 times of that in a day. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is all you know, and he, 15 items or so on this list, and I'm like, okay, this is not how someone can actually live, right? And so it then goes into the pitch about how he wants me to come in to train with him for 90 days, 3 times a week at $45 a session. And I was just like, no. And I said, I can afford maybe once a week. And then he's bringing them. He's like, well, if that is $50, but I would bring it down to $45. And I said, no, I don't think so. Not sure about that. And he goes, for you, I'll bring it down to $40. And I'm just like, what? So I said, look, I need to go home.
Sounds like you're buying a car.
It does, right? So I'm like, look, I need to go home. I need to look at my budget. I'm not sure that this is what I can do. And so he takes all the materials of everything that he has shown me, takes it away, and says, I'm going to put this in a folder for you. And when you decide if you want to come back, then I'll give this back to you. So everything that we had just gone through was a waste of time, because I wasn't ready to commit to signing up. He never showed me a piece of equipment. He never showed me a single routine, nothing. He ended the meeting right there. And I was just I was so frustrated. I was like, this is BS. This is so
that is
so frustrating. I can't, all I want to do is learn how to do some of this stuff better. And so I went home. I had gotten a message that there's a guy that I met when we went to Florida in February. His name is Funkors, and I had posted on Twitter that I was going to join a gym, and I was joining a gym and seeing this personal training appointment. He happens to be a kettlebell instructor, lives out in Florida, and he sent me a DM on Twitter, and he said, hey, when you go see this trainer appointment, just if you have questions or you're not sure what they're saying, don't hesitate to ask me. Don't hesitate to send me a message. But
yeah,
he said, don't forget that there's Nicole and Tim from Heroes of Fitness in your town too, that you may want to ask questions of them too. And I remembered this DM after I got back from that trainer appointment. I sat down on my computer and I sent Tim Spencer a message, an email, and I said, please help me. And I will tell you what, Tim and Nicole from Heroes of Fitness, they stream on Twitch. They play a bunch of different games focusing mainly on Heroes of the Storm, and they do workouts. I've met them before. We've talked about them on the show. They came back to me immediately and they said, Jules, we will help you. And so, and they get it. They understand. They're gamers. They understand what it's like. So as of this last week, I am now being trained by them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I am so excited because they do live in Minneapolis. And so we met for brunch on Sunday. We had a wonderful discussion. I really have to change my way of thinking about a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff in general. I have a really unhealthy relationship with food. I have a really bad time with exercise. I don't like it. I resent it. I don't want to do it, And so I need to be accountable. I need to be held accountable to people that, number one, are great, and number two, really care about what's going on. So I am so excited. I mean, I'm freaking out, scared a little bit about it because it's a full-on change, and I'm dealing right now. Like one of the goals that they gave me this week, very small and working up to it, but they said, if you have the ability to do it, we want you to go to the gym and do a treadmill workout, which you've been doing. I want you to do that every day this week. And I've been doing it. I've done it every day this week, but I've been dealing with dehydration issues all week. And I'm like, I don't know. I've never had this problem before where I'm just like, it's like dehydrated. Like, I think I drink a lot of water. I'm not drinking enough water, and I have to keep Gatorade now and lots of water. I'm going to be chugging it through the show because I've been dealing with the symptoms on and off all day too. And so big changes are about to come. I had to go take before photos. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, those are the worst.
Those are the worst. I can't. Oh. I had Pat Crane's wife help me with that because I couldn't take them myself, and she's one of my dearest friends, and so I'm just like, okay, just take the pictures, okay? She's like, it's okay, honey, you're fine, but
take them, but don't look at them.
Yeah, just don't look at the pictures, okay? So there will be a journey, and I am on it. There we go. That's my big news. That's the big news that's been going on this week.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I'm ready. I'm ready to make the change. So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I've been cranking out the chainmail, man. I've just been catching up on my commission list, which is great. I made the coolest lanyard for a member of our community. It was Horde and Alliance. It was Horde up one strand and Alliance on the other. And
I saw that.
Oh, it was so much fun to make that thing. And people had some very heated opinions about it. It wasn't mine. It was a commission request. So, but I am just loving the stuff that I'm making for people. I've got one of the two remaining ones that I'm doing for the CTR Party Kickstarter. And it's going to be a Triforce colored lanyard. Ooh. So, yeah, it's going to be super cool. It's just, I love it. I love what people come up with creatively for me to make for them. And I'm waiting on some rings so that I can work on something for our lovely Marconin soon. And I'm so excited. So I'm having so much fun making stuff for people, man. Like, they'll just come to me and say, I wanted something like this, but I want it to look like this. And it's something I haven't done before. And I'm like, okay, well, let's try it. Figure it out.
Yeah, I got some art supplies in yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I can start working on some stuff this weekend, I hope. That's my idea. I have all these awesome ideas, and then I start to doubt myself, like, can I really? I don't know if I can do this. I've never done this before. It might look stupid. And so I have to work through my own like brain to actually make something. It's like, well, I've never done this before, so it may look like crap, but it's first time, so usually it does.
And that was an enlightenment that I had yesterday. Actually, I made something that was in my head that I had seen from somebody else's postings on some Facebook page, and I thought, well, I can do that. And when I did it, it didn't come out the way that I had expected that it would turn out, because my aspect ratio of the piece to the rings was off, and it didn't look right. And so I'm like, okay, I've learned stuff. Even though this doesn't work, I can figure out how to fix it or to do it differently. So that in itself, like any attempt that you make with art is going to be a learning experience, no matter what you try or possibly don't succeed at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, no one paints a Rembrandt first day, so.
Hell no, because that'd be boring.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to paint
a
Rembrandt.
I'm so good at art. I guess I'll make art today. There it is. Look, on the wall again. I call it Thursday afternoon because that's when I made it.
It's not. It doesn't have the same connection to it if you haven't worked really hard to get there. That's my thought. So that's what's been going on with me, with you. Anything else before we get into our think tank question?
Can't really think of anything.
Okay. All right. By the way, I was on Convert to Raid this week, so listen to the latest.
Oh, that's right.
Convert to Raid. That kind of came out of nowhere. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm on Convert to Raid tonight. Okay. So
surprise.
Surprise. All right. Let's get into the think tank question of the week. And here's Souter.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
A letter from one of our listeners. This letter wasn't necessarily requesting advice, but I think it's a good think tank / discussion topic. I chose the think tank side of things, but there we go. So I will read the letter and we will get into it. Starts with, I can't really fault any one thing as the reason I am where I am. I am a proud father of an 18-year-old daughter and 15 and 12-year-old sons. My wife and I got married in 1999 and have had a very unstable relationship. We strove with diligence to stay together for family, but now it has finally hit its end. When Overwatch was announced, I turned all of my family to the game and everyone was anxious to try the game. So I bought the game for my PC and a copy for my wife and kids. So this goes on for months. We have great family talks about our great play of the games or an amazing save and build amazing bonds as a family. Well, the last few months, my wife started to get more distant. She would often get on late at night when I was going to bed after a long day at work, and she would play Overwatch. I was starting to get a weird feeling because I would wake up in the night and hear her chatting away, but not game-related. I started to get bothered by this. Then, about a month ago, I confronted her and asked, what the hell is going on? And she told me she had found someone in Colorado. We live in South Carolina. And that she was more into him through the game. I said, well, just remove him and stop this BS. She said she wouldn't. So I told her she can't lay in bed with me while she's talking with another man. And just act like it's okay. By the way, yes, it did get sexual via text and photos by phone. So she left. It was us and our 3 kids, and she left us. I refuse to let them understand the adult aspect of this, although my daughter gets it. I am now doing okay as a single dad, but I cannot ignore after so many years, I didn't train the skills I could really use now. So the kicker is that my future ex still plays Overwatch at her mother's and plays with her Colorado man, and my youngest son will group with them. My son loves the game, and we talk about it and have a lot of cool bonding moments from it. He's young enough to have the innocence he doesn't understand. He's grouping with someone who was the catalyst for his parents' divorce. I also don't want to tell him he can't play because he misses his mom, and this is currently the closest he gets to seeing her. So I write more as a release, as right now this community and friends that I have made really is helping me. I'm going to make it. I have no doubts of that, but I won't lie. I still dream of her and miss her something vicious. My son the other night had his headset off and I heard her voice in the comms. And well, I kind of broke for a second and told him he had to put his headset back on or I was turning it off. It's so weird a feeling knowing I created an avenue for such great times and experiences with new people. Creating an amazing bond with my kids, talking shop about something I love and they do too. All the time in the back of my mind, I wonder if I had never brought my family into the game, if we would still be together, at least for a little longer. I know eventually our marriage would fail, but I just wish right now I had a little longer. Thanks for listening, Joe B. So we're talking about a marriage that's essentially broken and over. But when I read this email, there were a lot of things that I wanted to say. There was like a lot of things I wanted to say to Joe because it just like, I know that this is devastating.
Absolutely.
It is absolutely devastating for you. It's devastating for your kids. It's, this is one of the hardest things that you'll ever have to go through as a broken relationship, especially when you had planned on it being for the rest of your life. This is our family. This is how we're supposed to be. So take it away, Marconin. Start us off and anything that you have as a response to this letter. What did you see? What do you want to think about here?
Well, it sucks because this, you this is supposed to be something that brought your family together, not tear it apart. This is something you were looking forward to. This is something awesome. And you brought your family in. And now because, I can imagine you feel responsible for it, even though, from the beginning of your letter, he said that it wasn't going well, that this was an eventuality. He had already resigned the fact that the marriage would end one day. But, it's kind of like having this cool idea and you're like, hey, this would be a great thing for me and my family. And then you're like, yeah, it's a great idea, except it's going to do the opposite. And then you're like, well, crap, if I'd known about that, I wouldn't have done it. But then you get into the what ifs of like, well, what if I hadn't done this? What if I hadn't brought the game in? Would have we been okay? Would we be able to work through our problems? Would she not have left? Blah, blah, blah. And it just goes and goes and goes. And then you're just in this big pit of what if. And
you can't do that. You can never.
Yeah, you can't. You can't what if yourself to death. Trust me, I've almost done it. So yeah. It's something that you can't let take over.
And I think the thing he has to remember, because in the closing of the email, he's thinking that if he had never brought his family together into Overwatch, would this have happened? Number one thing you need to understand is that infidelity is not the cause of a relationship breaking up. It's a symptom of a bad relationship. It's not, and I think that you have to remember that. Someone doesn't go out and cheat because to break up a marriage. They're doing it because something is already broken in the relationship. Yeah. And they're looking for a way out. They're looking for an opportunity to, a lot of times what happens when people cheat is that they look at they see the relationship and say, this is my decision. This is where I'm stuck. This is where I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And they see that there is no other option, and then all of a sudden an opportunity presents itself with another person. And then it's like all of a sudden now that stuck thinking, as I call it in coaching sessions that I do with people, is like all of a sudden now it's like, well, I can't leave her, but I have the opportunity to be happy, or I can't leave him, but I still want to feel desired by somebody, or I still want to, be it is not the reason that a marriage or a relationship breaks up. It's a symptom of a bigger problem.
Yeah. Yeah, and it seems to, from what he said, it's been unstable for a long time.
Right.
And so, it's just, you tried to stick it out, but eventually this opportunity presented itself, and you can't control you can't blame yourself for how or why it happened, because from the way it sounded, you pretty much said it was going to eventually happen anyway. Something was going to tip the scales, and it was going to happen. Something was going to happen to cause your marriage to fall apart. It just so happens that this time in this universe, that's what happened, is that the game you bought. Well, and another side is that it really did bring your family, most of your family, together. You had a lot of great time with your kids. It was a bonding thing. Not a lot of parents have that. Not a lot of parents have something that they can really, geek out about with their kids.
Right. Exactly.
There's, my when I grew up, my parents, they had interests, and I had interests with them. My mom and I liked going to movies. My dad really, he liked Star Wars a little bit, so but there's little things that my parents liked that I didn't really connect with them on, but we still had a couple things in common. We didn't really, not to that level of having something to geek out on. Mm-hmm. We go see movies and stuff like that. That's where my love of movies comes from, is from my folks. But I didn't necessarily have something that was just like, holy crap, this is bad, we're doing this all together,
Yeah.
So it's a rare thing, at least as far as I've seen. It's kind of a rare thing, multi-generational geeking out. But I guess it's getting more common as more of the more recent generations of geeks are growing up, and their kids are enjoying the fandoms that their parents enjoyed. Mm-hmm. Especially with Star Wars and other things coming back again, Doctor Who, all this stuff. So it's a great thing that you have with your kids. So I wouldn't totally eclipse all of the good things by this one very important and very big, but it's a bad thing. Is that your wife is gone, but you do still have your kids, and they don't understand, but they still love you. They're still there. And those are three giant blessings.
Yeah.
So, you've got one bad thing, but three super awesome things.
Yeah. No, it's true. And I made the title of this stream tonight. I don't know what the actual show title is going to be, but the title of this stream that I made tonight is "Don't Wait Until It's Too Late."
Draven will tell us the title later.
Yeah, he will. And the reason that I did that is because I think that most of us, in our deepest gut, when we're in a relationship that isn't working or isn't going well, if you know probably, and you knew for a long time, Joe, that you were staying together for family reasons. You were staying together because of your kids, but you weren't staying together because you had love and respect for each other. And you knew that, but never. Most likely, my guess is that was never actually spoken. That wasn't actually said. We are going to agree to stay together until the kids are out of school or moved out of the house or whatever it is. It's just there is an unspoken truce that happens sometimes, where people just kind of say, "We made this decision, or we made this bed, and now we're going to lie in it." Mm-hmm. And I gotta say, speaking from experience, is that if you sit there and pretend that everything is fine, it's not going to fix the things that are not fine. It will not fix them. It's just going to make the peace maybe extend for another night or another week or maybe another month, but the problems are still there. And the reason that people do these actions that don't, instead of going to counseling, instead of having a fight about it and talking about it, you're going out and doing something to just basically end the relationship because of, infidelity ends most relationships, because people say, well, that's the deal breaker. If you cheat on me, I'm out. Mm-hmm. But when you remember and you go back to what I said earlier, that infidelity is not the thing that breaks up a relationship. It's the catalyst and the symptom that there's something else wrong. Why aren't you addressing that? Or at least speaking up and saying, this isn't working. Because a marriage is a partnership. A relationship is a partnership. It's two people that enter into this collaboration to get through life together. And so where it breaks sometime along the way, and sometimes it's very easy to not even know where that is, to know, and maybe it was like that from the beginning and you just pretended that it was better than it really was. I don't know. It can be anything. And people who get together when they're young and don't necessarily stay the same person that they are today, you know, it just, we grow, we change, our relationships with others grow and change. I mean, you know, today I am friends with people that I care about very dearly. Were they my friends 10 years ago? Most of them were not. You know, because I was a different person at a different time in my life. And so when you think about it from those perspectives, we, you know, don't wait until it's too late and then you've just been, you're out. Like, or it's just, cheating is so hard, guys. And I know Joe is devastated. I know he feels broken. He feels worthless. He feels like he has no value. You know, if someone can just toss him aside, it's really, really hard to get over. So,
it is, but you know, I mean, the way it sounds, I don't know. It sounds like both of y'all had given up already. You were just trying to get through it till just one day it just ended, and this just happened to be it, and you weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
You know, and you also have to have both people willing to make it better.
Right.
You know, that's absolutely the thing. You know, both parties have to agree that it needs to be worked on, and that you need to compromise on some things and work together towards, you know, you got to work together. We got to go in the same direction on this.
Yeah.
You know, yes, people do change as you grow older. You absolutely do change, but the marriages that work are the people that accept you how you grow. You know, yeah, you're still not the same person when you were married, but you could still love that person, even though they've changed some interests, they've grown together, but, you know, willing to accept that there are some changes, you know, people that, you know, when you do make those changes, you accept them just because you still love that person regardless.
Yeah.
And you have to have both sides agree to that, or else it's going to end poorly.
Oh yeah. I mean, when it becomes you versus your partner, it should always be, and I know I've said this on the show before, so I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but it should be you and your partner against the problem, not you and your partner fighting against each other. Because you're supposed to be a unit. You're supposed to be a team. And so if the problem is that you don't agree on the fundamental issues of your relationship and you're not working together to fix that problem, and, you know, the other person is the enemy, then it's too late. You know, it's fixable if you go and you're working through that. But what happens over time is that piece of paper thrown into the corner. Again, I've talked about this before. Every single time you have some beef with your spouse or your partner, you're throwing it as a piece of paper in the corner. All of a sudden, it's taken over the entire room. How do you clean up that room and go through every single piece of paper and every single problem? It's monumental.
And yeah, it really is.
So, you know, I have found that the strongest relationships are those that can be brutally honest and can be honest and you know, and say, you know, this bothers me about what you do and I don't like this. And the other person saying, okay, I'm going to make a concerted effort to respect that. Try to work with you on it. You know, I mean, you're never going to have, like, two people are going to have issues with each other. Like, something you do, Marconin, is going to annoy your wife. No matter what you do, it's going to annoy her because you're cut from different cloths. It's just not, you're not the same person. And some things are, you know, but is it worth fighting over? Is it worth warring over? You know, that kind of thing. Or is it, You know, is it like, well, that's just Marconin, and I understand that's how he is, and I still love him for it, even though he drives me up a frickin' wall when he does that, you know? And so, you know, I sit here single now, so and single and unable to explain some of the more intricate details of some of the stuff that I went through. Not without desire to do so, let me tell you, but I cannot. So, but let's just say I understand a lot of what Joe has gone through.
Yeah. And I know it's rough now because you still miss her. I mean, you were, you know, you had pretty much said that one day it was going to end, but that doesn't mean that you're ready for it too.
Yeah.
That's like going into a really awesome movie. You know it's going to end eventually, but you don't want it to. Like there's some movies I've gone to where I'm like, this is a fantastic movie. I wish it didn't have to end.
Right.
You know, I know it's going to end, but I'm not ready for it. I know that's a bad comparison. It's not quite an accurate comparison, but the basic idea is the same. I mean, it sounds to me like you'd already decided it was going to end, but you were kind of hoping it would end later.
Yeah.
You know, and you weren't ready for it, but you didn't have a say in it.
Yeah.
In
but
this
now
case, you know,
you have, you know, I mean, I don't want to say this as like, you know, I mean, out of respect for your situation, you know, you have an amount of information and knowledge about relationships that you didn't have before. And you now have a future where you could enter into another relationship down the road, armed with the knowledge that you have now of what you've been through, you know. And that is the thing that I can tell you with certainty, is that when you step out in the world again to consider dating to you know, relationships with someone else in the future, you're going to be looking at it from a lens of, what did I learn from this last one, and what mistakes do I not want to repeat again? And how can I be a better partner? Because the only person that you control, the only actions that you can control are your own. You can only be the partner that you think you can be, you know, like the best person that you can be in that relationship. And so that's the thing you have to look at for the future. You're focusing on your kids and making sure that they live a healthy and loving life, you know, the best you can. You focus on that. You focus on the fact that things are not going to be the same for them, and that's the reality. I would also say that it would be very wise to consider having conversations with your younger sons about how they feel of this situation, not necessarily about what you want, you know, not dumping on them and telling them, you know, their mother did this, but to ask them how they feel about the situation and allow them opportunity to ask you questions about things that they want to understand. Because children, even, you know, and they're almost teenagers, they're teenaged or close to it, they see more than you ever think they do.
Yeah. And my parents divorced. I can't remember how old I was. I was probably goodness, I don't even remember what year it was. My mom would know, but I was around the 12 to 15 year old. I was in junior high, I think, when it happened. So, you know, around that time, 12 to 15. And it was rough. It was very, very rough. And I kind of understood what had happened. I had the general idea, you know, but I loved my parents, and they both loved me. And, you know, I still had to go around and see, you know, I had to go live somewhere else every other weekend.
Yeah.
Between that, you know, for years, you know, until I graduated until I went to college every other week, or I graduated college like 5 days after my 18th birthday. So it was pretty much about that time. So, you know, 5 or 6 years bouncing between Memphis and almost into Missouri every weekend was tough. I mean, I still love seeing my parents and everything, but it was tough And I know it's going to be tough for your kids. And I know you're going to do the best job you can of making your home a loving one and one that they can be in. And I do have to commend you for still letting your kids play Overwatch, because that would be a tough thing for me to do in your situation. I'd be like, get it out of here. I don't want any, that would be just the gut reaction is like, just get it out of here. I don't want anything to do with it. But you do realize that this is a touchstone for you and your kids.
Right.
Yes, it's also a touchstone for your soon to be ex-wife as well. And that's her contact with the kids. And you're still allowing that, which is commendable, I think. And as long as you keep it within, as long as you keep that connection with your kids and make sure that you're still providing the best way you can for them, I think you're doing a bang up job.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
You're doing a really good job of it. And that's something very respectable. And I mean, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if, what's going to happen with her and that guy. It's out of your control. But the only thing you can influence is how good of a dad you are to your kids. And I think you're on the right track already. And I know you know that, because you're active in their lives, which is something that is very, very needed on the whole. And you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. And in closing, I would say very much encourage you to seek out a therapist. It is really, really helpful for healing, to work through, especially when you've been in a relationship that involves infidelity. It really is very, very helpful to be able to get perspective, an outside perspective on the relationship, help you to heal through the feelings of worthlessness and rejection. If your health plan has opportunity, if your employer has an EAP, an employee assistance program, and they offer that, please look into it. It is, I can't recommend getting a therapist more than going through a divorce. My therapist was my rock through some of the worst times. And so I have to say, consider it. Please consider it.
Yeah, and be mindful of your kids too, because your kids may need someone to talk to about this too, even if they don't outwardly show it. Be aware of that. Yep. And be mindful of that with your kids, and if need be, they may need to, because
very true.
While I didn't need to, during my parents' divorce, my sister did. She took it a whole lot harder than I did.
Right.
And she needed to talk to somebody about it.
Right.
So that's something else to keep in mind as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And excuse me. And Joe, I'm so sorry for what has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you'll be okay. I know that you're working towards a better life and a better future, but the current now is pretty crappy. And so there is a light at the end of that tunnel. There is a life at the end of this pain. It will be there. You just have to weather the storm. I mean, I'm using all these kinds of cliche terms, but it's so true. And you will get there. You will be there.
Mm-hmm.
So, good luck to you.
Absolutely.
Yes. And if you guys have questions that you'd like to submit for the show, advice type questions, discussion type questions, you can send them to questions@taurenthinktank.com. That is our email address. And we would be happy to try to get that on the show when we can. So with that, Marconin, I think it's time for us. We've been doing a lot of heavy stuff for the last couple weeks, so we're going to lighten it up.
Yeah.
Like we do with something called Tell Us One Thing. We like this one. Here we go.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
It was Marconin's week to put out those questions, and he did.
Yes, it was.
So you start us off with the first question and what your answer is.
Yeah, the first question was, which movies do you quote on a regular basis? Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about this because, I think I told one of my coworkers today. My brain is a constant jukebox of mostly music, but also movie quotes. And if somebody says something, slightly akin to a movie quote or something, it'll just pop into my head and I'll say it right back, and or I'll randomly start up in song lyrics or something. So the question was, which movies do you quote on a regular basis? And for me, it would have to be a lot of stuff that I grew up with. It would have to be Airplane and Airplane, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters. Goodness, just stuff like that. Just a lot of good movies that I have a lot of fond memories from. Yeah, I could quote probably most of Airplane at you.
I saw that movie a lot of times. A lot of times.
I watched it a lot as a kid, but I did not remember the scene where the topless woman comes right into frame, stays there, and then leaves until I made my wife watch it when we were dating. So I was like, oh, I don't remember boobs in this movie. There they are. Oh, okay. So that's it, it's like those, and yeah, that's pretty much most of them are of those movies. What about you? You quote a lot of movies?
Yeah, it's normally like it's all of the nerdy movies from our childhood. So Princess Bride, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Indiana Jones, and the Temple of Doom, or Last Crusade.
Why did it have to be snakes?
Why did it have to be snakes? Raiders of the Lost Ark. All of those movies are the ones that I will quote on a regular basis. There's just certain lines that just fit for so many things. And but I find what's interesting, I find that there are certain friends that we will quote the same thing over and over again. And it's just like I can't even tell you what they are, but like whenever I'm hanging around with Pat Crane, we have the goofy lines of things that we say all the time, and sometimes they vary. I mean, but the funny part is that we try to see if the other one is going to get it. So he said something today. We were having a meeting today. We had like a 2-hour meeting today on work stuff, and he said, I may be crazy, and I was like, you may be right. And he goes, thanks, Billy. So we do that to see if the other person is going to pick up on it. And that's the game that we play. It's kind of like a game.
I actually did that the other day with another movie I quote a lot is Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, yeah.
And someone said at work, they said something, wasn't this over here? And I was like, wasn't your mole on the other side of your face? And he went, I have a mole from Men in Tights.
That's awesome.
Did you say Abe Lincoln?
Bim also said Wayne's World, and I did a lot of Wayne's World quotes.
She makes me feel kind of funny.
Kind of funny.
Those are good ones too.
Yeah, so there's just so many. It's not modern day quotes that really get me. It's the older movies from my childhood, the things that were kind of the classics. And I'm wondering if that's everybody or if that's just like our generation-ish, I don't know.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of quotes from Men in Tights in the chat room.
Yes.
Now, all those Mel Brooks movies. Spaceballs too is another one.
Oh, Spaceball. Oh, yes. We've done that on the show. It's Spaceballs, the podcast. Like
Spaceballs, the flamethrower.
What's awesome about quoting things from popular culture is that it makes sense to people. It allies you with people, right? So when you know
it's like
that
a calling card.
Yeah, like if that they got it, that they're in on the joke that you made. You've bonded.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You say something, someone kind of looks at you, go, yeah, I know that reference. I know that reference.
Oh, I will say, most commonly I quote RuPaul's Drag Race. I do too. Oh, I do too. Not today, Satan is one of my favorite lines Not today, Satan.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Oh,
I say that one. Don't you put that evil on me.
Yeah. It's a great thing. So we asked the audience, and you guys came back with a vengeance. I couldn't put them all in. There was too many.
Yeah, there's too many. But Crushinator says Futurama. Many come from the show, but there are also movies, so this counts.
Yes. Eli CTR says Empire Strikes Back, of course. Do or do not, there is no try.
And Caiaphon says, there are so many, mostly the original Star Wars trilogy, and The Hunt for Red October.
I didn't know there were that many quotables from Hunt for Red October. I've seen it multiple times.
I have not seen it all the way through.
No? Okay.
I have not. I need to, because, I know it's a good one.
I mean, I don't know why this triggered in my head, but it was A Few Good Men that actually triggered in my head, and it's the Jack Nicholson.
Oh yeah, you can't handle the truth.
And so that triggered in my head from that, but the Hunt for Red October didn't. So yeah. So Draven Dresden said Princess Bride, Deadpool, Lord of the Rings, Donnie Darko, Speed, Wildcat. Yes, Star Wars. Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, Labyrinth, Serenity, 13th Warrior, Inside Man, Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones. Yeah, most definitely. You don't watch Game of Thrones, though, do you?
I've seen the first 2 episodes.
Okay, so you haven't really watched the whole thing, so.
Yeah, so I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I know some people die. 13th Warrior was really good. I haven't seen that in a long time. I have not seen
that one. I didn't know that one. So yeah, there's just a lot of them in there.
Yeah.
Help me, baby Jesus. Help me, Tom Cruise. The legend of Ricky
up
Bobby.
on Mountain Dew. That's a favorite of mine.
Oh, that's great.
All you have to say is, I love crepes. You know those little pancakes?
Oh, gosh. So many fun ones.
Oh, yeah. Zafira says, A Knight's Tale. Quote, love should end with hope. Unquote.
I never. Okay, I seen it. I couldn't quote a darn thing from it.
I couldn't quote it, but I really liked it. I haven't seen it in a good while though.
Kalani said, I tend to quote songs more than movies, but Firefly, yes. Fifth Element, yes.
Yes.
Anything Monty Python, yes.
Double yes, yeah.
Yes.
Fifth Element. I should have said that one too, because every time asked me something, it was like, "Hey, are you something?" I'm like, "Negative. I am a meat popsicle." That is my go-to line.
I will never get it out of my head from that movie. Is just Lilo Dallas multipass. That's all I've got.
Yeah, he knows it's a multipass. Look, lady, I only speak 2 languages. That's English and bad English. That's another favorite.
That's awesome.
Are you nervous in the service? So many good ones.
There are good ones.
Torek also says, Star Trek for sure, especially when a friend of mine is using a gamer tag that sounds like Khan. I'm sure I don't overuse that joke, at the least bit.
I've got that. Hang on.
Uh-oh, I've had Khan on the brain.
There you go, Torek.
Thank you, Zendara, for that one.
Thank you, Zendara, for that liner.
She sent that one in.
Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you guys so much for sending those in. And then we got the second question, which came from Marconin. It's, which artist or band do you always recommend when someone asks for a music recommendation?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Recommendation. This one's tough for me because I've said before, I listen to lots of different types of music. Mm-hmm. So it depends on what people would ask me for. If it depends on it's like, hey, what do you recommend as far as this genre? I mean, if it's classical, my goodness, I'm going to tell, or it's classical or choral, I'm going to tell you Eric Whitacre in a New York Minute, because it's fantastic. The way he plays with colors, musical colors within choirs is second to none. It's fantastic. Water Night sounds like you're underwater. It is beautiful. Cloudburst is the sound of a big thunderstorm coming through, and you will hear it. You will absolutely hear it. Those are just 2 of the many ones that are great by him. I mean, I could listen to his music all day.
I didn't actually know about him, so I got to check him out. Eric Whitacre?
Yeah. Yeah, Eric Whitaker. Yeah, I'll send you some links. He also does the virtual choir where he recorded on YouTube him conducting the piece, and he had people from all over the world videotape and record themselves.
That guy?
Yeah, that's him. The virtual choir. That's
Oh
Eric
my
Whitaker.
God,
Yeah.
the virtual choir was so awesome.
Yeah. That's
was
his stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I made the connection. Oh,
Yeah.
That's cool. I remember that guy, and that was a crazy awesome effort that he did.
Yeah, it really was. I wish he'd do another one because I know it's a huge thing to put it, especially for the audio people to get all of those and line them all up and do all the stuff to make sure they're mixed correctly.
Yes.
But whew, it's just a cool idea of having one person conduct and then hundreds of people from all around the world that speak all these different languages get the music and watch him conduct them and then just mix it all together and just make this beautiful piece of music.
That's awesome.
It's just fantastic. So yeah, I'd recommend him. If you're going with goodness, I'm trying to think now. I thought about it a lot, but granted, I wrote these down a couple of weeks ago, so it's been I've slept since then. But also, I'd recommend as far as like if you say ska, oh man, I've got a list a mile long. Mm-hmm. Less Than Jake is fantastic. Real Big Fish, of course. But then I do like Suburban Legends. They're really good, and they used to be a house band at Disneyland, which is why they've got like 2 albums of just Disney songs that they've covered. And it's like they do the DuckTales theme, Kiss the Girl from Little Mermaid, a whole list of stuff. But yeah, that's two big ones right there. But yeah, it would depend on the genre that people recommended. I'd also say if you need something to listen to Afro Celt Sound System. It's like electronic music mixed with African drums, mixed with, of course, Celtic.
Yeah.
All this stuff. And Colossus is I think that's the one that's like 10.5 minutes, and it just builds and builds and builds and just gets more complex, and it's just beautiful. I'd listen to them. So yeah, definitely give Afro Celt Sound System a listen. And of course, Eric Whitaker. I may tweet out some music videos of some links to YouTube stuff from both of them. So absolutely listen to that. So yeah, definitely do that. So yeah, watch my Twitter for that if you want, or just look it up on your internet.
Yes.
On your internet.
On your internet.
So now that I've talked about music for a while, what about you, Jules? What do you want me to listen to? If I was going to listen to some music, what would you recommend?
So I will say I'm kind of out of my music discovery phase. Like I had a bunch of stuff when I was younger where I would just be like, you never heard of this before, but you got to listen to it. So my choices are a little bit more on the popular spectrum, but Churches with a V where the U is.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love them. They're so good. And for a good indie pop sound, an Australian band called Betty Who. I love them. They're amazing. These are just like, because I listen to a ton of independent music. I just love indie music. So I'll listen to stuff on Spotify and just kind of discover as I go through. When I was younger, and this is actually hard to find, but it is. I have a copy of the album because I love it so much. There is a band or a group called Beautiful World, and the only album that I've ever heard from them is called In Existence, and it is an African choir in a techno electronica beat, and it is amazing. It is like it's African choir singing, but with electronica behind it, and it's from the 90s.
That sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, you know what? I have a copy of the album. If I can get it to you, I will, because I love this album. Like if I just need to chill, because it's very chill. And so, it's so good. And I found it once in a record store. I listened to it because I used to go to the days where you used to go to the record store and listen to stuff on the headphones and go, oh, that sounds cool. Maybe I'll buy that. That's how I found this thing. Yeah. There
was a shop in Memphis, a store called Planet Music. I think it was a small chain. I think it was a chain.
Yeah.
But they had aisles and aisles and aisles of stuff, and they had all these recommended CDs that you could listen to on headphones. my goodness, the first, like 10 CDs I bought in the 90s were from that store because I got to listen to them.
Yeah.
And that was so cool. I loved that.
Some folks
I need
in
to
the
go
chat room
find
were like, I
more
got to
music.
get you to listen to this stuff. The best way to get us to listen to stuff is to like tweet us a YouTube link of it. Or if you don't have that, like a SoundCloud link or something. Draven Dresden did that with his favorite band, who he mentions in this thing, so we'll read it. And he did that, so I actually set it up. He set up a playlist for me, and I listened to it while I was working, and I said, okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I like this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely send us your recommendations if you haven't already in our show notes or from the talk. But let's see what we've got here. I scrolled down so I could copy down some stuff. But the first one we've got is from Magic Myth Mayhem. And they say Kurt Hugo Schneider and everyone he has worked with on YouTube. Kurt himself is a jack of all trades. He's a music producer, songwriter, video editor, and constantly networks and collabs with other artists. Usually he is in the background playing instruments, of which he can play nearly, if not everything, but he also has a great voice of his own. They cover mostly pop hits, but they do some great originals and create really impressive music videos to both. To boot, I guess, is what he said. But
yeah, I guess that's to boot. Awesome.
To boot.
Eli CTR, I don't know if this is a trolley answer or not, because he can be very funny. Barnes and Barnes, of course, because who doesn't like a little fish heads? That song freaked me out as a kid. You saw
is that the fish heads, roly poly fish heads?
Yes.
Wow, I did not know that was an actual. Wow. Okay.
There's a band that did that.
Okay. I think I might have heard that vaguely, like way in the back of memory, and picked up on it.
I was like,
oh no, actually, my
real?
dad used to say that. My dad used to say that.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, he's got a, he calls somebody a fish head. When like that was not an insult, but it was like, he's just being a fish head. But then he like referenced that song. I think that's where I picked up on it from.
Gotcha. Well, the video is awful because it's all just pictures of dead fish eyes, and so it's so
bad.
bad.
I kind of see the preview window. That's weird.
Yes,
I may have to watch it anyway.
Okay, Bim says it was popular on Dr. Demento. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Yes. Kaifin says the Doobie Brothers, ELO, and Peter Gabriel are my top go-tos, but pretty much any artist from the 60s to the 80s.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That absolutely all of those. Mehmet says Weird Al, and I absolutely, everybody knows who Weird Al is. Go back and listen to some of his stuff because it's so like. Not just the stuff that you heard on the radio or that was the music video, but go back and listen to a lot of he does like style parodies. A lot of them. He'll do a style parody. Like there's Your Horoscope for Today is a ska parody. He'll do like the song Bob was a style parody of Bob Dylan, except every line was a palindrome. It's a sentence long palindrome. Every line and lyric is a giant palindrome.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you go look at the lyrics, they're all palindromes. It's the thinking that it takes to go into the music that he makes. It's not just straight parodies. It is so inventive, and it's awesome. So I cannot recommend Weird Al enough.
And a palindrome is when the sentence reads the same backwards and forwards. So
yeah, just like the word Bob is a palindrome and race car is a palindrome.
Right.
These are whole sentences.
Whole sentences. It could be read backwards and forwards and say the same thing. It's so cool. Draven Dresden says The Birthday Massacre. That is the band that he created a full-on playlist and sent it to me.
Yeah.
And I took a listen, and he did it right. He's like, okay, so the stuff that I think you're gonna like the most, I put it up front, and the stuff that I'm not sure if you're gonna like, I'm putting it to the last. And he did it right, because by the time I got like towards the end of it, I'm like, this is getting a little too hard for me, but the early stuff I really liked. So
yeah. Oh yeah. And let's see here. Also, Zafira says, this depends on the person asking for the recommendation, but by default, I have 3 that I always say. Imagine Dragons, Hailstorm, and Pop Evo.
I only know Imagine Dragons in that list.
I know them and Hailstorm. Okay. I've heard a little bit of Hailstorm.
Okay. That's cool. Kalani says this one's really tough for me because my tastes are so varied, but for stuff that's easy to just sit and listen to, Stevie Ray Vaughan, yes. Eva Cassidy, Bruce Hornsby, Billy Joel, and Jay Giles Band.
I like Bruce Hornsby a lot. I like his music.
Me too.
And Torek says, for anyone looking for metal covers, I really like Lilo. Let me see, Moracchioli. So Leo
I think it's
Moracchioli.
Leo Moracchioli.
Moracchioli. Okay, aka Frog Leap Studios. He does some great metal / rock covers of pop songs and theme music.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
And finally, Tattooed Freak says, depends on the musical genre they're interested in. I suggest Chris Watson and Joe Bonamassa to anyone who will listen because I love their music. Chris is a local artist to the Fort Worth, Texas area and plays a bluesy, funky type of bar / party music and does a live show 6 to 7 nights a week. Joe is a blues artist that has a beautiful way of playing his heart through his guitar, and his live double disc and acoustic evening at the Vienna Opera House is transformative in a way and downright perfect as a live recording. If you're looking for heavy music, I'd suggest Lamb of God or Hatebreed. Don't get them wrong by their names. Lamb of God is as heavy as they come, and Hatebreed is old school punk / thrash, but both bands have positive, uplifting lyrics.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, we got one more. Brian or at BMAC9571 says Dragon Force and Real Big Fish. So speed metal and ska and third wave ska.
Speed metal.
Also,
and ska.
I want to do a quick recommendation that I remember. This is from college. In marching band, we did Earth, Wind, and Fire and Queen in the same year, and Queen's 3-disc platinum 3 CD set, amazing. You get to hear their deep cuts of stuff, not just the stuff on the radio, the stuff you've heard in a football stadium that you know. The rest of the stuff is just magic, and it makes me all the more sad that we lost Freddie Mercury so early, because I would love to have another 20 years of that whole band just to listen to how their music would have evolved. Queen is fantastic. Earth, Wind, and Fire is amazing. The funk, the way that sound came from then is amazing, and that they were still touring, just wonderful stuff. And also, if you like country, which we haven't really said any country, I've got skin in the game because I knew her from college. Ashley McBride is her name. She was just featured in Rolling Stone not too long ago, and she's a friend of mine from college. And she's got some good country sound, and she's a singer and a songwriter. This is all her stuff. Okay. So I'll put a link to some of that stuff because I've got skin in the game because she's awesome and I know her. So
that's awesome. Definitely
give her a listen. I think she was touring with Eric Church this year, one of the bigger names in country this year. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I have to throw that out there because she's awesome.
Good for her. Well, that is Tell Us One Thing for the week. Thank you guys so much for sending in your submissions. You can send in your submissions to each week's Tell Us One Thing. Find them on Discord, tinyurl.com/TTTchat2, or you can go onto Twitter. We put them out on Twitter each week, and that is at Tauren Think Tank on Twitter. And that is how you answer these questions to get them on the show. We can't use them all every week because we usually get too many, but we try to use as many as we can to make a decent show out of it. So.
And the cool thing is you can go back on Discord or on Twitter and see what the other people were saying and get those recommendations.
That's true. That's
very,
very true.
That's another reason to hang out, too, is you get to see all that extra stuff.
I agree. And with that, it is time for the Slash Moos. And we start with Perfect Nomad, who says, Slash Moo to Kalani for selling me a BlizzCon ticket. It'll be mine and my girlfriend's first time to BlizzCon.
That's fantastic, buddy. I can't wait to see you inside there. Awesome. And from Zafira, Slash Moo to Turarts for sharing her story.
Yes. From Broken Bones, Slash Moo, biggest Slash Moo to Turarts. No one should ever go through this. I know that we are all here to support her. She is a very brave woman, and I have the deepest respect for her.
Absolutely. And at Namiria941 says, Slash Moo to Turarts for sharing her story last week. Very meaningful and helpful to me personally. You are my hero. Aww. That's awesome.
From Mammoth, a slash moo to Boom Boost, Hand of a Doll on Storm Reaver, a 101 Boomkin who twinked themselves to level 846 and basically ran 20 to 30 dungeons with their friends. 2 others from Storm Reaver, and I tagged on for a huge chunk, like 15 and a lost count, and got over 2 levels to get to 107.
Awesome. From Draven Dresden, slash moo to Turarts. She knows why. Given the news today, a slash moo to all of those that deal with mental health issues. We have our good days. We have our bad days. And once again, to quote the doctor, the way I see it, every life is a big pile of good things and bad things. The good things don't always soften the bad things, but vice versa, the bad things don't necessarily spoil the good things and make them unimportant. And we definitely added to his pile of good things.
Yes, thank you for that. Kayafin says, slash moo to CTR as a whole. So friendly, so kind, and always looking out for each other. This community is amazing. And slash moo to Nin in Guild. Completely rocked her first set of treatments and stood up to the effects. She is strong and kicking it. Onward to tame the next steps. I'm so proud of her.
Mm-hmm. And finally, we have from Jupiter Jazz, slash moo to my fiance John. We went all the way down to the cities for the X Games event and traversed downtown Minneapolis for the first time. As someone who likes to stay at home, I was totally out of my element. But with him by my side, I was able to have a really fun time without being stressed out.
I didn't even know that the X Games was here in town. I was like, until it was like the weekend, and I'm like, the X Games are here in town. Like, what is going on? So I missed that. That would have been kind of cool to see, but, so it was awesome. And that's a great slash moo. Congratulations on, I know downtown Minneapolis can be a little bit like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So that's totally awesome. And that, Marconin, is a show.
I believe it is.
I believe we have produced and created a show right before your eyes. It's like this impressive feat of strength.
You know, Merriam-Webster's dictionary does define a show as a piece of entertainment with one or more persons produced in some form or fashion for the enjoyment, not only of the producers or the staff of said production, but also the greater public at large. So compared to that, I would have to define what we did in the past hour and a half as a show. So you are correct.
Thank you. That was a really roundabout way to get there, but that's good. Oh my gosh. So what is going on? Excuse me, I get the hiccups. What is going on with you this week? Anything that you would wish to tell people about?
Well, I'm going to get kind of artsy-fartsy in the next few days, and I'm hoping it doesn't look like poop. But considering it's the first project, it probably will. But we'll see. Still super secret, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm dipping my toe into something in art stuff, like crafty stuff that I have never done before. So we'll see if it works. Okay. I'm anxious to get started, but I really won't be able to until Sunday because that's my next day off. But I'm ready to go see some movies this weekend too. Yes. So Valerian, the City of 1,000 Worlds, 1,000 Planets, The New Planet of the Apes, Baby Driver. I want to see all those movies.
Oh, you're gonna hit them all up this weekend, huh?
That's why they have the early Sunday morning matinee $6 of thing price, nice. So that I can go see a movie for cheap.
Nice.
I could do that. So yeah, doing all of that. I've been going back to the gym more still, and traversing that. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes.
But yeah, just doing that stuff.
Awesome.
Just doing that stuff, keeping at it. What about you? What's going on with you?
Let's see. I don't know what's going on the next couple days. Hopefully there'll be a stream in there at some point. I've been really lax in streaming, mainly just because I've been trying to focus head down on getting work done for chainmail stuff. If you're interested in grabbing a lanyard for BlizzCon, it might be a good time to think about that now. And you want to get in on the fun and action, you can check out. Best way to do it is go to my Etsy store, which is chainofjewels.com. shop.etsy.com. And there's a link to my commission form on that page. On the top of that page, you kind of have to like click the see more thing, but it shows you all the stuff I've made so far in terms of different weaves. If you have questions, don't hesitate to let me know. I've been making some really fun stuff for some really fun people, so I'd be happy to do one for you too. And yeah, there's that. I'm going to be seeing my trainers on Sunday. I don't know what time yet, but I'm heading over to their place to get a workout on and a training plan together. So I'll be working out on Sunday. Yeah. Watching HGC this weekend because we're getting close to the Western Clash and seeing who qualifies for that.
Sweet.
And doing all the crazy stuff that's going on with the Convert Your Aid party, the CTR party Kickstarter. All those surveys went out.
Party.
So there's a lot of data that I need to analyze. And so things are busy. This is a busy time. But
yes.
It's just going to be...
I sent my survey in. They're done.
Yeah,
so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and like out of 140 backers that we sent surveys to, 67 of them responded yesterday alone. So I was just like, you guys are amazing. Like I don't have to chase down as many people. So yeah, it's so much fun to try and see what everybody's going to want and what are people buying, and yeah, it's just so cool.
All the things.
Yes, absolutely. So with that, we will bring this show to a close, as we always do, and that goes just like this. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can find us outside of the show on our website. That's taurenthinktank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too. And you want some cool Triple T swag, and the way you can do that is to go to taurenthinktank.com/store. You can pick up some awesome Triple T t-shirts, some sweatshirts, get our nice Triple T logo on a mug, on some phone cases, notebooks, laptop cases, and more. Be sure to check that out. taurenthinktank.com/store.
And there's a sale going on right now, so go check it out. $14 t-shirts. Go get them. Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. If you would like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. And if you want to meet other members of the Triple T community, show off some pretty little pet pictures, your creative projects, get some support, talk about the latest Blizzard games, you can go to our Discord server. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
Yep. And you can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. If you want to find us at 140 characters or less, you can do so at Tauren Think Tank for the show, at Jules RPG for Jules, and at Marconin Wow for moi.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time. You can find us on the video stream at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank. We'd love seeing you here with us however you can.
Yes, we do.
Marconin.
Jules.
I hope you have a splendid week, rest of your week, and weekend.
Well, I hope you do too. You enjoy the rest of your week and weekend as well. And part of next week.
For show. And we'll be back next week with another show, because that's what we do and that's what we're here for. So we'll see you then.
Yeah.
For myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room, until next time. /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
So my watch was like buzzing through the whole thing, and then all of a sudden I got this thing like, your battery's about to die, and then all of a sudden it goes, oh my god, damn it, stupid battery.
Well, thank you, Winchester. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. We love having you guys here. It was a fun chat room. You guys were nice and feisty and some fun and thinking about the stuff that we're talking about. And it's good stuff. All right. That is the don't eat, don't care. Oops, I didn't eat again. What are you looking at?
What are you looking at?
I like that one.
Draven will tell us later.
Draven. Let's just look. Draven.
I like the Draven will tell us later. That's like a meta title.
It is because we're becoming very self-referential. Merriam-Webster's super secret crafty things. I like what are you looking at? That's my favorite.
Yeah, we can go with that one. What are you looking at?
This dehydration crap is so frustrating. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Like,
well, do you keep track of how much you're drinking? That could be one thing, because I know there's a couple of guys that I know at work, or people at work, they would get like the milk jug size, just gallon jug of water, and that way they would know how much they were drinking that day.
Yeah.
They would just fill it from that.
So I think I've drank 3 of these today, and then I have drank 3 12-ounce cans of LaCroix and Gatorade because I needed it earlier. But so because my activity level has increased so much, I'm just like, I need to rethink. I think, I probably what I need to do, because I have a Britter.
I got that Britter water filter.
My Britter.
You know you can make sweet tea in that Britter. Still
Really?
comes out clear. Strangest thing. Pour sweet tea in there, comes out unsweet. How they do that? Where does it go?
Wow. My Britter.
Get my Britter.
I wound up, so I probably should just make sure I fill it up every day and then drink the whole thing, right?
You need to fill your Britter.
Yeah. But I knew it was dehydration today because so I met with Pat this morning from 10 to 12:15. I came home, had some lunch, and then I was getting ready to go to the gym. And all of a sudden it was I and I was so thirsty and I wasn't feeling too great. I wasn't feeling right. But I was I got to go to the gym. I got to get my walk in. And then the frantic peeing started. Not to get graphic, but it was I would be sitting here and I would be holy shit, I got to pee really bad. And I'd go and I'd pee and I'd be done. And I'd be 15 minutes later, holy shit, I got to pee again. It's urgently have to pee. And then I went to the gym. And it was I went to the gym. Gym was 5 minutes from my house, from the car to the gym. Shit, I have to pee again. And so I'm yeah, I'm something right here.
Yeah.
So it finally stopped around dinner time, but I was just oh my God, what is going on?
Yeah, that's the kind of tough thing about nature of my job, is that I'm at people's houses, and as a rule, I don't use their bathroom unless they offer, or they say, hey, you guys can use the restroom if you need to.
Okay.
We get that once in a blue moon. So I try really hard to not to hold it, which sucks sometimes because we're at a job for 12 hours straight, no breaks, no nothing.
Come on, that's not fair.
Well, it's a rule I put on myself because some people are very particular. They don't want strangers in their bathroom. But if we absolutely need to, we can take the vehicle and go to a gas station, which I've had to do before.
Yeah.
But I try to put it out of my brain, even though I'm drinking. We have these there's a Whole Foods close to where I work. Mm-hmm. And so I'll go in the morning and get these 69 cents for 1.5 liters of water. This giant thing of water is cold in the fridge. So I'm 69 cents. Awesome. Great deal. And I'll take that and I'll drink it and refill it if I need to and stuff. So I'm drinking a lot of water, but if I absolutely have to go, I can, but I try not to in people's homes because they may feel weird about it.
You know what?
So-
Though, like, in the last, so I've moved in the last, 18 months. I've moved 3 times, and so I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, I've actually just like told the movers, if you need to use the restroom, please just let me know. But warning them on the outside, like, you can't go in there because the cats are in there. But
Yeah.
that's the only place where you're not moving stuff out of there. But yeah, it's like. I know people are particular about somebody they don't know using their bathroom.
Yeah, and I always err on the side of caution by not doing it unless they offer.
Yeah.
Or if I'm in the middle of nowhere, like, I was a couple of weeks ago, we were probably 20 minutes away from the nearest gas station. It was way out in the middle of nowhere. And so, I was like, "Sir, I hate you, but may I use your restroom?" And it's not, I don't have to lay anchor or anything. It's like I just have to go pee real quick. It's like I'm not gonna
anchor.
I'm not gonna park myself in there for a while. I just need to go real quick, and then if it's that bad, then I'm gonna go to the gas station because there's no way
I've heard that before.
I am not gonna drop a deuce in a customer's house. Like, there's no way. I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna. Because most people would not like somebody. So it would not like a stranger taking the Browns to the Super Bowl at their house.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
A complete stranger.
That is
there's no way.
Hilarious.
So there's all these rules that I've made up and used in my job.
Oh my God, that's
So
hilarious. Oh my Lord. I just realized that my microphone was on the other Skype the whole time tonight. I really hope that didn't F up the audio.
Well, do you think it would affect? Can we pull the audio from the Twitch stream?
It would be going out to the Twitch stream anyway.
Oh, well, I think if it had messed up, somebody would have said something.
Yeah.
In the chat room.
Damn it.
How have we been sounding tonight, folks?
Yeah, there would have been kind of like a dual microphone for me. That sucks. I forgot to mute it. I always do, and I forgot to mute it. Well, I'll find out.
Yeah, well, they say we've been good, so.
Yeah, I'll probably hear it on the audio and be mad at myself, and that's not much. I'll probably have to noise gate some of it, but we'll see. So.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I have 2 Skypes running. I have a Skype that Marconin can see me on, and it's on my second computer, which is over here, which is what's running the soundboard. And usually I mute that microphone so that there's no sound coming from Skype through there. And so you would be hearing, theoretically you'd hear me doubled, because it would be picking up the room noise and it would be picking up my speaking through this one. So hopefully it didn't echo back. I hope that wasn't a problem. Nobody said anything, so...
Yeah, they said we sounded good, so we may luck out. May luck out on this one.
I will listen to it and go, "Oh, you're an idiot," or "Oh, that's not good."
I will be the judge of that.
I will be the judge of that. So with that, I think we will head out of here because it's hot in here, and
it is.
Okay.
That's why I had to turn the air on turn the
hot.
fan back on because it is.
I know.
It's hot
3
in here.
computers running, all the lights. I'm sweating. So.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you next Thursday. Be good to each other. Take care of yourselves, and we love you.
Yes, we do. We love each and every one of you. Enjoy the next 7 days, and we'll see you on Thursday. Mm-hmm. Have a blessed week. Enjoy your time with your family and your friends or your pets. Or with yourself. No matter what you're doing, enjoy yourself, and we'll see you next time.
/boo, everybody.
/boo, guys.
Bye.